Thank you for choosing the Schwinn IC4 review video to get a better idea if this is the bike for you. I'll be going over the bike top to bottom in 10 different categories and will be as thorough as possible, so sit back and chill with me while I talk about your possible future spin bike. Who's it for? Okay, to kick things off, I wanted to quickly talk about who this bike is for, and to be quite honest, it's kind of built for anyone that's looking to get a great, low-impact cardio workout from home. Because of its excellent adjustability, combined with a decent range of resistance, this bike can be adjusted to just about everyone, from a first-timer all the way up to a seasoned cyclist. Design. While looks are subjective, personally I think this is one of the best looking spin bikes on the market today. When comparing the IC4 to Schwinn's own commercial grade AC Performance Pro, you can really see the family resemblance in the frame and perimeter weighted flywheel. The gunmetal satin finish with the red highlights has a quality look to it and would look great in any room. Build quality. The Schwinn IC4's build quality is up there with the best home spin bikes on the market today. While I wouldn't quite rank this as studio grade, it is quite impressive on how stable the entire package is. Wheels are very clean, there's some nice bolstering in high stress areas, and the bike has a high weight limit rating of up to 330 pounds. All of the parts bolt together very well and feel very solid, and I never experienced anything coming loose. Now my seat post does have the tiniest bit of rocking side to side, but I didn't experience any creaking, clicking, or any grinding sounds whatsoever. The stabilizer bars work great, with the exposed adjustment knobs located on all four sides to remove any imbalance, and fully leveling out the bike is a breeze. Noise. During the use of the bike, it is not silent, but it is really quiet. I live in a 2-story house with a bike on the first floor, but I don't think you'd have any noise complaints when using it on an upper level apartment. If anything, it makes the slightest hum sound that is not noticeable while pedaling. If you're worried about noise below you, placing a mat underneath the bike will help muffle any audible sound that might transfer to any levels below. Features. This bike has the works when it comes to features. You've got a built-in computer with a vibrant LCD screen showing your stats, viewable in any lighting situation, a USB port to keep your device full of juice, dual-sided pedals with a toe cage on one side, SPD clipless on the other, a padded tablet holder with a grippy surface, dual water bottle holders, dual 3-pound dumbbells for upper body cycling workouts, a very nice saddle that is in the middle of the spectrum of width and foam density feels perfect. The handlebars have a nice ergonomic shape to them with bends and angles in just the right places, although the 2 tabs at the upper end might not be for everyone. I personally find them a tad awkward and would prefer having a full 360-degree grip. Adjustability. You've got 4-way adjustability in both the saddle as well as the handlebars, and what that means is not only do you have up and down movement, but you pair that with fore and aft movement as well. Bikes like the Peloton and the Proform only have 2-way adjustability in the handlebars, and adjusting your reach fully is quite not there like it is with the IC4. I do wish the tablet mount was rotatable, and I felt like it could have been a little more upright. Connectivity. Probably the biggest selling point of the Schwinn IC4 is its Bluetooth connectivity to a ton of apps and services. Now a lot of top spin bikes out there like the Peloton, Echelon, Nordic Track all have connectivity, but you're locked in to a single service. With Peloton, you're stuck with Peloton. With Echelon, you're stuck with Echelon. These proprietary services are currently $39 a month. With the Schwinn IC4, you're not locked into any particular service, and you're free to roam and use any app of your choosing. You've got Peloton, Zwift, Explore the World, Map My Ride, Sufferfest, Fulgaz, Rouvy, TrainerRoad, MyFitnessPal, Google Fit, Apple Health, Wahoo, Garmin, just to name a few, and I'm sure more apps will come out in the future. Resistance. Overall resistance is quite good. It's not the easiest, and yet it's not the most difficult, but I find the range good and the resistance is done via a manual knob that you can change 0 to 100. Some bikes out there use digital resistance, and what that means is it's mechanically controlled by an up and down button, only letting you adjust by one value at a time. Some bikes are adjusted via software, so you can't alter the resistance manually without using the app. You're going to want a manual knob, as this is the quickest and easiest way of changing resistance by steps of 1, 5, or go all the way up to 100 if you'd like. What makes it even better on the IC4 is that you also have a digital readout that shows the value of resistance, letting you get a better idea of the output your legs are putting out. As I previously mentioned, the resistance is good, but it isn't great. I find the easiest setting more difficult than it should be, and the hardest setting I feel like some heavier and or stronger riders will look for more. 0 on this bike is like a 20 on a Peloton. I noticed that setting the resistance to 0, the magnets slightly overlap the flywheel, so it's not a true 0 setting. setting. On the more difficult side of the spectrum, this system uses 4 magnets and some other bikes use 6. Durability. I've only owned this bike for a couple weeks now, using it almost daily, and so far it's been solid 100%. I don't foresee having any issues with it, especially the magnetic resistance being maintenance free and will not have to be replaced like a felt or leather brake pad would. The drive system is via belt, and it looks like it uses an automotive type accessory belt, which should be readily available should that ever stretch that much. Ease of use. The overall setup of this bike is fairly standard. After adjusting the bike to your liking, the Bluetooth pairing to apps can seem a bit complicated, with each app having its own way of pairing. For instance, with the Peloton app, the pairing is not done with your device's Bluetooth settings, but rather in the app itself by clicking a button where the IC4 will show up after the bike is powered up. Negatives. After I assembled the bike, I did find some cuts or cracks in the rubber coating of the handlebars, and the tablet holder was crooked from the factory. A quick call to Nautilus, and both of these were shipped out for free for me to swap onto the bike myself. I did find the paint on the seat post and handlebar post to be quite thin. Some of the paint was rubbed off just for me adjusting the saddle height during my testing. The front transport wheels are pretty cheap and don't have any bearings, so if moving the bike daily is something that you're going to be looking into, you might want to keep this in mind. As I mentioned earlier, I did notice some rocking in the seat post, and I found that it was happening in the lower portion of the post. Now I fixed that by adding a small shim piece of paper inside the sleeve, and everything's been golden. Water bottle placement is not ideal, and my knees would hit taller bottles during my stand-up efforts, so to combat that I raised the handlebars up and I started using shorter bottles, which solved the issue. Overall, now, I had very high expectations of this bike before buying it, and while there were a few quirks to it, it still does not sway me from fully enjoying it. It comes standard with a 10-year frame warranty, 3 years on parts and electronics. At $799 for the IC4, it is very attractive, and when you tie in the entire package, it's one of the top, nay, dare I say, the top value in spin bikes. I fully 100% recommend this bike. This has been another Prelude-driven review video. If you found this useful, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to see more footage just like this. Thanks for watching.